Hey everybody, this is Devin. Today I'm answering a question from the community. This question is from Rick and it reads, I've got a problem with wanting to just go out and do something, regardless of failure. I'm not afraid to fail. I'm not afraid of what will happen if and when I get there. I'm afraid of what other people legitimately think about me, my family especially. My brother, to be exact, he always makes a comment about me or to me that is meant as harmful or judgmental and won't stop repeating it until he notices he's upset me. My question is, what should I do in these instances? I try to ignore it or shrug it off, but his negativity greatly impacts my self-confidence. So thank you for your question. This is a super, super good question. It's actually a problem that a lot of people have. We don't tend to think of it, but when you try to self-improve yourself, oftentimes the biggest issue is actually your family. It's like crazy, but this happens a lot. It's because your brother or your wife or your girlfriend or your mother, whatever, they know you the best, so they get used to you being a certain way. And when you try to do something really different, it's like different to the way that they know you to be, and so they're almost scared of what that change is going to do to you. One of the places I see this a lot is in people trying to lose weight. What'll happen is their whole family is overweight and they're used to being overweight and they kind of justify this through each other. One person tries to lose weight and all the other ones will actually deliberately sabotage, whether subconsciously or consciously, their activity. I think the best way to answer this question is to split it into two categories as far as how people think of you. The first one is, let's talk about the easy one, which is like people that don't really know you. That's the first category. That's almost everybody. So anyone that's like not your family or just like an acquaintance or someone online that you've never heard of. One way that I prevent myself from getting worked up over people that are going to troll me or people that are going to feel like they need to be negative towards me is I know that almost no one has a view into my mind, if anyone at all, that I do. I know myself better than anybody else knows me. There's no way that someone on the outside can ever know me as well as I know what I'm doing. And when they make a negative comment towards me, they're not actually attacking me because they don't actually know who I am. What they're doing instead is they're projecting one of their own issues onto you. And they're making you the focus point of that issue and of that problem. They're not actually attacking you. They don't know you. They have like no idea who they are. The only context that they see you in is the video you posted or the comment you posted or the thing that you did. What I find though is that this is one of the major things that stops people from actually doing anything in life is they really think a lot about how other people will think of them. When in truth, first of all, the wide majority of people are not going to care. The vast majority of people will not care at all. They got too many things going on in their own life. They got too many problems. They've got too much stuff they've got to worry about. They're never going to think about your issues. If they do think about their issues, something will trigger them in their mind because you bring up something that is like particularly offensive to them in that moment, probably because of an emotional association with something that has nothing to do with you that's just going on in their life. Like something happened to them, you remind them of that really upsets them, so they attack you directly. They may say some horrible things, but they aren't actually attacking you. They don't actually know you in that way. So one of the best ways to get rid of those thoughts about people that are attacking you that don't really know you is just realize, hey, this person is probably in pain. This person is probably upset, and they're probably having a lot of difficulty in their own life. You know, life is really difficult. It's why I make these videos, because I think life is super hard. It's really tough to figure out. A lot of people are going through that struggle, and you can't blame them for being angry, or you can, but it's just going to bring you more negativity yourself. What you can do instead is you can be like, hey, this person is suffering. This person's having a hard time. I guarantee you're having a hard time because no one that has a great life is going to leave like negative YouTube comments and is going to freak out at you. No one is going to freak out at you at the grocery store if they have a great life. They're just not going to do that. They're probably having, they might even have a great life in general, but they're just having a terrible day. So that's like the day that they just go out and go crazy on you. And it's not even anything that you did. It's just the amalgamation of all the bad stuff that's in their life. We're all kind of one bad day away from our worst reaction to something that we can do. So just remember that person is suffering, and you should feel compassion for them. As I really feel compassion for people that are suffering that bad that they attack other people. That sucks. It means that their life is going really bad. You should do what you can to help them. And that's the way that I've found to get over anybody that attacks you that doesn't know you. Now, family's a lot more difficult because they do know you a bit, and they spend a lot of time with you. Realize that they may be deliberately trying to sabotage you because of their own insecurity. And they may actually be, like, probably in your specific instance, so going back to the question, his brother is causing all these problems, and every time that he has something happen that he wants to change, his brother will make fun of him and root at his self-confidence. Well, my friend, the reason why that's happening is because your brother himself is threatened by your change. And he feels like every time that you could change, he probably secretly looks up to you, or he looks down to you, and he wants to keep you in the position that you're in so that he can feel morally superior. Alternatively, he might look up to you. I don't know because I just have the context of the question. And he's afraid of what change will do to you and that it will distance you from him. But wherever he's coming from, it's from pain. He's coming from suffering, and that's why he's doing this to you, because he wants to keep you the way you are, and he doesn't want you to change. Now, how do you deal with it? You're on defense, and defense always sucks. The problem is you're on defense. So every time that this guy makes fun of you, your brother makes fun of you, you take it, and you just feel that tinge of lack of self-confidence. You just don't feel good. What you need to do is you need to confront him. And every time that he does that, you need to have a serious conversation with him and say, hey, man, I just want to tell you, like, I really don't appreciate when you say those things to me. And just, like, super serious, I don't know why you're doing those things. I don't know what's causing you to do that, but it really hurts my self-confidence when I'm trying to make a positive change in my life. And you're my brother, and I love you, and it would really mean a lot to me if you could support me in these changes, because they're really hard for me. In fact, if I had your confidence, I think I could do it, and I think you could help me, and you could be a part of that win. And you integrate him into the process of making this a win for both of you, instead of keeping these sides. And instead of thinking it's got to be this either or thing, you want to incorporate him into the process of that change by telling him that he could actually be a good support trigger for you, and that he could actually be a person that could help you. You could teach him how to help you be the greatest version of yourself. The problem is that you're on defense and you're wondering, how do I stop this? But you're not an active part of the change. You're not on the offense actually trying to educate him and help him become a better person for you and become a better brother for you. And you can say things like that and be really serious and be like, hey man, it would mean a lot. Like you mean a lot to me. Saying something like that adds a lot of value. And I really care about what your opinion is. So sometimes when you say these things to me and you make fun of me, it authentically hurts me because I really care about what you think. And I really want to change, but I don't really have a lot of support in my life. Will you be that support for me? And you hold him accountable for it. And you make him actually have skin in the game. And now you're doing something really different. You're on offense. And you're actually creating a result, and you're creating a person's buy-in to help you. Maybe all that happens, and you still don't get your result. I think you will if you really confront him genuinely and honestly. But maybe you still don't get your result, and it still doesn't happen. If it really comes down to it, maybe you just have to accept that your brother's suffering. He's hurting you because he's afraid of the change that you'll make. And you have to take the step and overcome that. And then I think that ends in a transparent conversation as well, where you say, hey, we've talked about this a lot. It's been a couple months since I talked to you about this. You haven't really improved, and you're still insulting me every chance you get. And I just feel like this is not working for me, and I'm not going to let you be a negative influence in my life. Instead, I think I'm just going to do my change, and I'm going to do it. And when you're ready to support me, then we can have this relationship. But until then, hey man, if you're going to be negative about it, I just don't want that in my life. And I talk about this in other videos a lot. I think it's really important who you associate with in your life. If you surround yourself with negative people, you will have a shitty life no matter what you do. It's really tough to have a good life if you're surrounded by people who are not optimistic. In the same vein, if you surround yourself with optimistic people that support you, it's a lot easier to have a great life. And there are ways to circumvent this if you're in a bad environment. Generally, though, I recommend that you just keep negative people out of your life. You should give a lot of chances to your family members before you come to that conclusion. I think that your family loves you on some fundamental level, and they're just trying to either protect you or keep you from making what in their view is a negative change that either threatens the family dynamic or threatens them because they don't want to change. And once you become conscious of that, no one will ever really hurt you. Once you become conscious of the fact that everybody is just projecting their own suffering and their own imagery on you, you know that you stand alone as a foundation and a pillar for yourself. Spiritually, the only person that can actually harm you and the only person that can actually help you is yourself. You are the one that lets that stuff in, and you are the ultimate gatekeeper of your fate. Your brother is not in control, and your family is not in control. But these are still some techniques that you can use that will help you, I think, externally control your relationships and manage these things from the perspective of being on offense and confronting people when they hurt you, because they deserve to know, as long as you incorporate them into the solution and you make them a part of it. Okay, I really hope that question is answered, and I hope that that provides a lot of value to you. Thank you very much for leaving a question. If you are watching this video and you have a question, you can leave it anywhere in the comments section on YouTube or Facebook. You can Snapchat me a question. Some people have been doing that lately, and that's been really cool. Pretty much anything, and I'm happy to answer questions from people. It's one of my favorite things to do in these videos. So thank you very much for watching. I'm really looking forward to seeing you again next time.